Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Temple of Possibilities. I am Minister William, or Reverend Will, if you wish, leading today's sermon of March 23rd, 2025. And as always, we'll start with a moment of silence for prayer, meditation, or what have you. All right, thank you. Today's sermon is called Living Abundantly, and it was by Rayla D. Matson and was put on the Unitarian Universalist Association website on November 27th of last year. Give a person a fish they eat for a day. Teach a person to garden, and the whole neighborhood gets tomatoes. Unknown. My grandfather's farm was in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. When my family would visit, he would often complain to my dad that my sister and I were too much like city folk. We didn't know how to tend to the animals. We knew nothing about the crops. We were we were always hollering at this or that. I would complain to my mother about how I would never do this or that on a farm. Now I dream of moving back to that land, which as a kid I didn't understand. I think that the animals I want on my farm and how I want to sit on my porch in my rocking chair, looking out over the land just like my granddaddy did. I also wish I paid more attention to my father's beautiful, lush garden because until this year, my garden never produced enough for my family afford to eat. This year, my garden gave me hope. I managed 1 ear of corn, 4 strawberries, and 3 jalapenos. But there was a surprise too. For the first time, I used as much dirt as I could from my composting. As the garden flourished, I noticed something growing. To my amazement, I was growing massive amounts of butternut squash. The curious part is, I never planted butternut squash. I do, however, make butternut squash soup every winter, and always put seeds in my compost. The crop that grown most abundantly came from the seeds that have been part of my compost dirt. The squash that grew were large and healthy, beautiful and tasty. I had to give lots of it away. What I now know for sure is that my farm will have butternut squash. I've dreamed of gardening and living in a way where there's enough for my family and plenty to share. And even when I couldn't figure out how, still this year my garden grew enough. My life is often like this. I dream of ways to share, but rarely have enough for the four of us. Yet sometimes, even still, my life garden grows and there's plenty to share. Prayer, O abundant source of life, may we recognize that our gardens and our lives can grow abundantly, even when we don't understand how, and that there is always enough to share. Whether you believe it or not, you always have something worth giving, even if it's just your time, a lending ear, a little bit of food. Even if you don't believe that it's enough, the person you're sharing with or you're giving it to, it can be the greatest thing on earth. I know I said that quite a few times on different sermons, but it is true. I've seen it many a times. I've done things with people, and I've done things for people that I didn't really think much of, but to them, it was the greatest thing that I could have ever done for them. You always have enough to share. You just have to figure out what it is that you can share, what you have in your garden of life. And even if you feel it's not enough to the people that you share it with, it will be. Remember, when we all come together, the possibilities are endless. I'll see you next week. Thank you.